كما يسمى لي بلاد السودان وهذا من لوني أنا جند الشعب لتحرير السودان يا شباب الدنيا ويا ثوار افريقيا اسمعوا صوتي انا من مدينه كرمك انقذنا واسمعوا صوتي كمان من مدينه كويتا الذي بلد كثير الخيرات فيه كل الثروات الزراعيه والحيوانيه والمعادن فكيف أكون جعان وكيف أكون عاريان وكيف أكون مرضان بدون دواء في بلدي الغنية يا شباب الدنيا ويا ثوار افريقيا اسمعوا صوتي انا من مدينة كرمك ارض انقذنا واسمعوا صوتي كمان من مدينة كابويتا أرض دافوسا لولا خلفيات المستعمر ولا قال لي البرجوازي الحاكم في بلادي فكيف أكون عطشان وبلدي غزير الأمطار وكمان نهر النيل العظيم يشق من الجنوب إلى شمال بلادي يا شباب الدنيا ويا ثوار افريقيا اسمعوا صوتي انا من مدينة كرمك ارض انقذنا واسمعوا صوتي كمان من مدينة كابويتا ارض دافوسا الاستعمار البغيض مع عمل بصير تركني مكتف الايدي ومقفول الدماغ بدون تعليم ومفعول دماغ بدون تفكير عشان ما أدري كيف أحرر وأطور بلدي يا شباب الدنيا ويا ثوار افريقيا اسمعوا صوتي أنا من مدينة كرمك أرض انقذنا واسمعوا صوتي كمان من مدينة كابويتا أرض دافوسا ولكن اليوم يا ناس الدنيا ويا ثوار افريقيا أنا غضبت خلاص وأنا رفعت سلاح وأنا بديت تحرير من جنوب بلادي إلى شمال بلادي ومن غرب بلادي إلى شرق بلادي وانا ماشي قدام لاحرر كل شبر من اراضي بلدي يا شباب الدنيا ويا ثوار افريقيا اسمعوا صوتي انا من مدينة كرمك ارض انقذنا واسمعوا صوتي كمان من مدينة كابويتا ارض دافوسا.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. This is our live show on state and nation building. Tonight, we are going to talk about the issue of the unity and separation that has been intensified on social media lately between our young people who are discussing the future of our country, whether South Sudan will continue to be united or South Sudan will be separated along three regions. There are people calling for separation clearly, probably using all the means possible, including self-determination. This is a very important topic, and please, I want you to share the video. I want you to share this video. That will be really good. I will appreciate it. Please share the video. Uh, this issue of unity and separation remind me of the debate that we had back in Sudan when we were one country. What was happening in that country, the few elites, mainly Jalin, Shagia, dominated the country, South Sudan, Sudan at the time. They were the leaders, they were the one running the country, they were the one enjoying the power of the states. They have neglected everyone. They have neglected the people of South Sudan, marginalized us, the people of Western Sudan, the people of Eastern Sudan. They have even went further to neglect their own people. The Northern Sudan was also neglected. Did these elites continue to enjoy the power and the resources of the country? And that continues from first 1956 until South Sudan became independent on July 2011. That domination was rejected, and South Sudanese led two revolutions. The first one was the Anyanya One movement that ended with Addis Ababa Agreement in 1972. It lasts for about 10 years, and the regime of Nimeri abrogated the agreement. And once again, the people of South Sudan led another revolution, which was the SPLA under Commander John Garang de Mabior. It was a successful revolution that resulted into the independence of South Sudan. What was very clear right from beginning, from 2011 up to now, the two Sudan, the Sudan that we left after South Sudan became independent, the elites did not sit down and ask themselves why the people of South Sudan left. They did not do that. They continue with marginalization. They continue with the same usual way of doing their business. And that results into another crisis. As we speak, Sudan has facing a serious civil war between General Ahmati, representing Tasis in one hand, and General Burhan, representing the group of the post-Sudan in the other hand. That's exactly what continued to happen in Sudan. It has reached a level now there are two governments. One government in Port Sudan, the other government in Niala. For us, the South Sudanese who left, we were all happy in 2011. Everyone that is watching this video remember exactly July 11, July 9th, 2011 as yesterday. You remember exactly where you were, how you were feeling. All of us were crying. All of us were excited. All of us were celebrating that finally, we are free. We actually call it, this is the independence of the people of South Sudan. That was our feeling in 2011. But now, what happened? What happened to that unity? What happened to that celebration? What happened to that relation? What happened to all these things that we were celebrating? As we speak, there are serious separatist movements in Equatoria, and there are people who have separation tendency. They want to separate from South Sudan. They lost hope on the idea of South Sudan. They want to break away. Does this remind you of what we were saying back when Sudan was united? Our brothers and sisters in Equatoria, at least some of them, lost hope on the idea of South Sudan. They want their separate country. They might be few now, but they are there. The same thing, there are separatist movements in Greater Upper Nile. And there are some people with tendency to separate from South Sudan. They lost hope on the idea of South Sudan. They want to break away and have their own country. They want to be independent as people of Upper Nile. In Bahr al-Ghazal, so far there is no separatist movements, or at least people who are talking, who have a tendency of separation from South Sudan. I did not come across such movements or individuals who have that tendency of breaking away from South Sudan in Bahr al-Ghazal. I did not hear that. But then I asked myself the question, why there are no people in Bahr al-Ghazal who want to separate from South Sudan, or at least who have a tendency of separation. If I look at the region of Bahr al-Ghazal, it is suffering the same way the Equatorial is suffering, the same way Upper Nile is suffering. But the people of Bahr al-Ghazal are not forming separatist movements, or at least there are no people in Bahr al-Ghazal who have a tendency to separate from South Sudan. And the only answer I can get, and I could be wrong on this, but this is the conclusion I reached, and you are free to give me or comment down there of what you think as a reason. Maybe because His Excellency the President Salva Kiir Mayardit is a son of Bahr al-Ghazal, and there's no way you can run away from a country led by your own son and demand separation. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe other reason is that the powerful Vice President, Dr. Benjamin Ball, is the Vice President of Economic Cluster, and also double as the first deputy of the SPLM chairman. Maybe that's the reason brothers and sisters of Bahar Ghazal have no tendency of suppression. But let us wait. Let us wait first and see one day when the power change in Juba, the president comes from another region. Maybe the president will come from Upper Nile, or the president will come from Equatoria. And I will look at our brothers and see whether they will continue to believe in the future of South Sudan, or will there be separatist movement in Bahr Ghazal, or at least a tendency to separate from South Sudan. That is remain to be seen. The main reason I really decided to do this show, it is because there are serious young people who are the future of this country that have been spending most part of last week and this week discussing this issue of suppression. And because the future belongs to young people, I took this topic very serious. It began during Tumaini initiative. There was one leader that came and joined the talks, and his agenda, or the agenda of his party, was that he believed that South Sudan is at mess. The country is almost going to collapse, imminent collapse, and total disintegration. And he blamed it squarely on other region, especially Bahr Ghazal. He think the problem is the region of Bahr Ghazal are the problem. And his solution was he wants Upper Nile to be a separate region, to be a separate state, to be independent. That was the solution. This guy was very, very serious. Nowadays, Dr. Deng Bolarwai, the chairman of CPA, joined the call and called for Upper Nile to be an independent region. This is a very serious call. But then, that was the call of Dr. Deng Bolarwai. But that call was met by people resisting it seriously. And among them was Honorable Mabiori Inwal. This is another young man that I have so much respect for, highly intelligent. And what I understood from Honorable Mabiori writing was that he was not even discussing the idea of separation and unity itself. It has no problem with that. But he did not like the idea from Dr. Deng Bolarwai blaming people of Bahr Ghazal for their failure. Honorable Mabur believe that the people of Bahr Ghazal, the people of Upper Nile, the people of Equatoria all contributed for the independence of South Sudan, and they also contributed for the mess that we are all in. The idea of you blaming the people of Bahr Ghazal for their failure did not sit well with Honorable Maburi. I have also saw an article by Molana Atanyawek Atany along the same line, uh, addressing Dr. Deng Bolaroy. Molana Atany made a lot of good points, and he was completely shocked, especially when he saw the call from Dr. Deng Bol calling for Upper Nile to be an independent state. Today, Sergeant Agelring Machar, which is another young man I have so much respect for, joined the discussions and look at it from a different perspective. Agel basically was saying, don't shoot at the person who is sending the message. Solve the problem that led for some people to call for separation. That's what Agel was saying. I also saw Dr. James Okuk, another intelligent, intellectual young South Sudanese, who did not even entertain the idea of this, of Dr. Deng Bolaroy calling, speaking on behalf of Upper Nile and wants to divide the country. He was completely not happy with it. But what I want to say, whether those who were into my own initiative or to the separatists in Equatoria or in Upper Nile, or to Dr. Deng Bolaroy, and all those who have contributed to this topic, including Honorable Urinywal, Molana Tanyuek Atany, Sergeant Nagel Ring Machar, and Dr. James Okok, and others, that I did not see their writings or their videos on these national matters. This topic is a serious topic. We have to deal with it. And I really want us to look to debate these issues not on individuals, not blaming individuals or not blaming our regions or attacking ourselves. But the debate should be shaped on two aspects. Do we want to continue as united people of South Sudan? Or we divide ourselves into three countries? That should be the debate. Basically, if we want to continue as people of South Sudan, then there are things we need to do. Those things that will make the unity attractive. Because the unity will not continue as There are serious crises that are facing our country. The country is facing serious economic, security, and national issues that could easily lead to total collapse and disintegration. So, my solutions that I will propose to all these discussions of the separation and unity are the following. Number one, let us not blame separatist movements or individuals who are calling for separation. Let us solve the problem as why they are running away from South Sudan. Let us not blame them. The separatists in Upper Nile, the separatists in Equatoria, let us not blame them, but address why they are running away from South Sudan. And the reason that they are running away from South Sudan, in my view, is that our failure as people of South Sudan to establish a state and a nation. We need to establish a state and a nation. We need to establish a state that have strong institutions, that treats people equally. We need to establish a state that if everyone looks at the mirror, you look at that map of the state, you see yourself, whether you are from Equatoria or from Bahra Ghazal or from Upper Nile. We need to do that. We also need to establish a nation. We take all these tribes, the Bari, the Nuer, the Sholo, the Dinka, the Asholi, all our tribes, take all these 64 nationalities and make a nation out of a nation that we are all proud of, with the idea that all of us South Sudanese, whether your tribe is big or small, we are all South Sudanese. We are all people of South Sudan. If we do that, believe me, there will be nobody calling for separation. But if we don't do that, you can attack them the way as much you want. You can fight them the way you want to fight them. But remember, the people of Sudan, the elites of Sudan tried this, but in the end, South Sudan became independent. Personally, I love history because I take history as a learning. If we succeed as people of South Sudan to separate from Sudan, trust me, brother and sister, if we fail to establish a state and establish a nation that we are all proud of, South Sudan will be divided to multiple countries. This may not be tomorrow, may not be next year, may not, it could be not even be 10 years, but it will happen because injustice anywhere, and this is what Dr. Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. That is number one. Number two, My message to separatists, whether you are in Upper Nile, those of Dr. Deng Bolo Arwai, or separatists in Equatoria, please know that the idea of dividing up the country into three countries, Bahra Ghazal, Equatoria, and Upper Nile, will not solve the problem. It will not solve the problem. Yes, you can go as people of Upper Nile, but that in itself is not a solution. Because if you take Upper Nile, it is a diverse community. It has all these tribes. It has the Dinka, it has Nuer, it has Sholo, it has Anuak, and all the other tribes in Upper Nile. If you don't come up with a program that will manage the diversity of the people of Upper Nile, so that you use that model of diversity to make sure that you establish a country that everyone in Upper Nile see himself or herself in the mirror. If you don't do that, it will not be long before some people in Upper Nile calling for separation. It will not be long. So, Brother Dengbol and your colleagues who are calling for separation, you need to take this message seriously and go back to the history. Don't even go far. We, the people of South Sudan, decided to break away from Sudan and establish our own country, South Sudan. Are we happy today? Are we united today? Have we better than Sudan? Did we establish a nation and a state? Did we build better hospitals for our people? Did we educate our children? The answer to all this is no. You know why? Because we have failed to manage diversity. So separation itself is not an end, because it may lead to further disintegration. Number three, as a solution to all these crises, is that let us manage the diversity. Yes, nothing wrong to be a Latuka, a Bari, a Zandi, the Dinka, the Nuer, your tribe, nothing wrong. We are proud of our tribes as South Sudanese. The Fertit, the Sholo, all these are beautiful, beautiful tribes. And they have beautiful cultures and languages. But let us take all these tribes and establish a state and a nation in which a Bari will see themselves in it. The Dinka will see themselves in it. The Nuer will see themselves in it. The Fertit will see themselves in it. A country that everyone is welcome and everyone is enjoying as a first-class citizen. All of us become first-class citizens. If we do that in South Sudan today, believe me, nobody, whether from Equatoria or from Upper Nile, that will call for separation. Nobody. But if we don't do that, no matter how long you use force to force everyone to have a united South Sudan, in the end, the country will disintegrate. Number four, that I see as a solution is to establish institution. Let us establish institution. And the first important document is a permanent constitution for South Sudan. Let us establish a permanent constitution that will address all these issues, all these concerns, whether the issue of land, issues of development, issue of justice, issue of equality, all this can be addressed through a permanent constitution. And we need to do that fast. And once you have a constitution, then you will have institutions that will address these issues. Number five, as a solution to this issue, is let us change our individual thinking. All of us are quick to point to others that the other person is bad, the other person is wrong, the other person is the one messing up the country. The other party is the one messing up the country. The other region is the one messing up the country. The other tribe is the one messing the country. No. A modern state can only be successful by us focusing as individuals who change their thinking and start working and addressing issues as people of one country. You have to work on changing yourself first to start seeing all South Sudanese as equal. You start seeing South Sudanese as brothers and sisters. You start loving each and every South Sudanese. When you do that as individual, I do that myself, you do it, everyone does it. In the end, we will build the nation. Number six and final one is that let us start thinking as a statement and reject personal gains. You know, this idea of thinking as a statement is something rare in our country because most of us, we think of our personal interests, we think of our personal gains, we think of our tribes, and then we think of our regions. But we end up behaving most of the time as activists, blaming ourselves, blame game. You sit and talk for hours blaming each and blaming everyone else. This is not how the countries are built. This is not how the nations are built. Those who build the nations, whether in Europe or in America or elsewhere, they decided to be statesmen. A statesman is someone who is above the tribe, is someone who is above the region, is someone who is above personal interests, is someone who cares and only cares about the future, unity, reconciliation of the people of South Sudan. This is where we need to get into it. Because at this point, narrow state or county or regional or tribal interests will not rescue this country. What will rescue our country is the idea of believing in South Sudan. This idea of building a modern South Sudan, a country with strong institutions, a strong army, a strong economic system. And I'm sure if we reach a level of thinking as a statement, I guarantee you, my brothers and sisters, we will succeed as people. And I know we are capable of this. I know we are capable of doing that. How do I know it? Because the people of South Sudan came together united and fought the successive regime in Khartoum from 1955 until 1972. And when we reached agreement with them and they failed to honor the agreement, once again, all of us, the people of South Sudan, whether from Upper Nile, from Bahr Ghazal, from Equatoria, we united once again and led the SPLA. It was a successive revolution that ended with an independent South Sudan. So we can do it. If we agree to do one thing as people of South Sudan, yes, we can do that. And all it takes is for us to agree on that. And my message tonight to our people is that let us rescue our country, all of us. And once we do that, we will all be happy and we will sing the song of freedom and we will enjoy the fruits of our country. We will be happy, we will be developed, we will move forward. Thank you all very much for listening. Please share this video, share it on my channel YouTube. Please go there, like, comment on my channel YouTube, also on my channel on Twitter, X. Please share this video on Facebook, share it, and also share it on TikTok, everywhere, Clubhouse. Time has come for people of South Sudan to discuss these national issues. Thank you very much.